What's up, YouTube? Welcome or welcome back to the Saving Men's Lives Network. Fellas, today I want to talk to you about emotions and how they can put us in a situation that we need not be, especially when it comes to dealing with women. Oftentimes, we as men find ourselves in an uncomfortable situation between how we want to treat women and how we have to treat them in order to be successful with them. What do I mean by that? Well, as men, our love is genuine. It's real. And a man's love for his woman, his children, his community, his faith, his country, etc. All these things, the love for those things is born out of sacrifice, the act of putting others before self. I'm a veteran, you guys know. But even for you civilian guys who've never been in the service, you've heard of, or maybe you've seen movies about World War II, maybe of Vietnam, maybe a sci-fi movie where there was a war between aliens or whatever the situation may be, where the soldiers are marching or they're in patrol looking for the bad guys. And out of nowhere, a grenade will fall right where they are. Sometimes one of those soldiers will, without a second thought, throw themselves on top of the grenade to hopefully protect his brothers at arms so that they can get home to their families. In St. John chapter 15, verse 13, Jesus told the disciples, "Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." And that's the way we love. Now listen, when it comes to women and children for that matter, it's like a loving parent. You want to give your kids everything because you love them. If you can do it, you want to do it for them. The problem is, if you give a child everything they want just because they want it every time they ask for it, if they're good, they get a treat. If they're bad, they get a treat. After a while, they're going to lose all understanding of the concept of reward and punishment. And that's a recipe for disaster. Now, how does this correlate to women? Well, you get to contrast how we love to the way they do. See, a woman will never love a man, not romantically, for who he is as a person. A woman will only love a man romantically based on what he can do for her, based on what he can do to her in the bedroom. Her love, quote unquote, is truly for sale to the highest bidder. And her decision-making process is emotion first and logic, well, eventually. For this reason, you as the logical one in the relationship, those of you guys who are still dating out there, for those of you guys that are still married out there, must never, ever climb down into the mud that is an emotional conflict with this woman. If she's misbehaving, fellas, for example, she's talking crazy, she's doing one or more actions she knows are off limits to you, especially like, wearing something inappropriate, too low cut, too short, too sheer, whatever the case may be, and she knows you got an issue with that, she knows she's misbehaving. She knows she's out of order. And she knows she's out of pocket, despite her attempt at playing dumb about the situation. This is her shit testing you to see A, how you're going to react to the test. Namely, will you put her back in line or will you let that BS slide? Or B, if you are going to compromise on what your core principles are. Core principles she already knows and is well aware of. Maybe even C, to provoke an argument for her own entertainment's sake. Because maybe the relationship is going too good at the top. They're not above doing that, fellas. Things are going too smooth, she'll throw mud in the water and pour you a glass. More on that last one in another video. But for right now, you as the man must metaphorically replace the blood in your veins with ice water, so you can calmly squash her childish, unaccountable antics. Now, the easiest way to do this is to remind yourself that women are at best a temporary, sometimes pleasurable, distraction for your purpose. And at worst, they're an outright hindrance to your progress and your purpose. For that reason, you can't let one of them provoke you into a verbal tennis match, or God help you, into a physical altercation, because that's just waiting to set you up for something really drastic to happen. You don't want them problems. You need to tell her loud enough for her to hear you clearly, but not so loud your neighbors can quote back to the cops what you said, because you don't want those problems. You tell her what your expectations are. And if she remains belligerent, if she remains obstinate, then you got a decision to make. You can leave her place right there on the spot if you're over there where she's at. You can kick her out of your spot if she's at your place. You can demote her in your mind, never telling her a thing. She'll never know, but in your mind, you've already gave her a demotion rather than a promotion. You have demoted her from girlfriend status to booty call only when I'm bored as hell status. Or you can put her on ice. Go full no contact for a few days or weeks until she gets her mind right. Or you can just walk away entirely. Wash your hands and shake the dust off your feet to both her and her bullshit forever. Your job, gentlemen, is to be steadfast and immovable. Remember, only small children and self-professed grown women get to behave like emotional maniacs without getting ridiculed or punished for it. Remind yourselves that she wants you to spaz out when she knowingly provokes you. I'm going to say that again. She wants you to spaz out when she knowingly provokes you. One, so she can play the victim card later, which is typical behavior for the kind of people who like to throw rocks and then hide their hands. Or two, so you can act a fool for her hidden camera or hidden microphone that she'll later show to her friends, her family, her coworkers, or God help you, to either social media so she can go viral while laughing at you the whole time, or to the cops so she can what? Play the victim. Think about it like this, fellas. Apologize for the jets. Think about it like this. If Johnny Depp did not have his own cameras and his own hidden microphones to counteract Amber Heard's cameras and microphones, when she set this exact stunt up to paint him as the bad guy, his reputation would still be in shambles right now. Learn a lesson from Johnny, fellas. Don't fall for it. Don't take the bait. Do not fold. Stand 10 toes down on your principles, fellas. In closing, if a woman who's gotten close enough to you to share your time, your attention, or your money won't follow your instructions and continues to do what she's been told you had a problem with, remind yourself that planet Earth is crowded. And not only is she easy to replace, but because of her bad behavior, she should be. That said, that's my time. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hit that bell icon to be notified when I drop a new video. Leave a comment down below, fellas. Let me know what you've been through in this regard. What happened when you let your emotions just be free as the wind instead of holding yourself to a higher standard? And share this video with a friend, a coworker, especially a young guy who might be in high school or just started college or just got in the military. If you think he can benefit from what we discuss here, never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Till next time, fellas, to Saving Men's Lives Network. Plenty more to come.